When you have a hammer, everything's a nail. What is a gender-neutral toy section? A section in a toy store full of gender-neutral toys. What is a gender-neutral toy? Balls? Blocks? Lego? Angry Bird toys? Overwatch is gender-neutral. A whole bunch of stuff is gender-neutral. In my brain, it's just a toy. Okay, whether or not it's exactly for a boy or a girl, be happy you got a toy. Like, my toy when I was a kid was like ball bearings. Like, I literally still have them. They're just metal balls. This was my version of marbles. Another gender-neutral toy. Another thing that I used to play with is coins. My mom was trying to teach me how to count money and stuff like that, so I got to literally play with money. Who is it for? For the kids that are identified as non-binary. Somebody who's in a hurry needs to get a birthday present or something. They could just waltz on in, grab something and go. They don't need to think about it. They don't need to think about like, oh, this is the child going to love it or hate it or whatever. It's just a toy. What ages would the gender neutral toy section be? I have no idea. Because is gender neutral. Boys have a little, range what they're going to grow up in. And the girls have their range that they're going to grow up in. There's always an overlap. I'm going to call the gender neutral zone. And if there is such a thing as that overlap, then why worry about it? So that literally led to my next question. Why? I don't know. Who cares? It's just toys. Like I said, if there's that overlap, why bother? Just a store, okay? Maybe you have this side of the store or the girl end, and then you have this side, which is the guy end. In the middle, you can make it the gender neutral zone. You don't have to write it. You don't have to have a sign that says it. You just go, this is the gender neutral zone. I don't know. All right, let's start the video.
California has now mandated that every big box store in California is required to create a gender-neutral toy section.
Now you have to have that sign now. You have to have the gender-neutral zone sign. What they're gonna do? Paint the ground gray or something? And then have a gray sign on top? Gender-neutral zone? If the company decides that they're going to do it themselves, then they should be allowed to do it themselves. But this doesn't seem like it's that hard of an issue to press on a big-time company and say, hey, you have to come up with this.
Why? So so what you're really saying is that gender doesn't exist. Right? What you're really saying is there's no such thing as biological sex or human proclivities that are directed by biological sex or connected to it.
But I do think there's a difference between being a DNA male and DNA female. There's a base difference, but then there is the action, personality, how you portray yourself. And it's just toys. Just choose a toy that you want to play with. Parents already have a hard time in the toy store. Kind of making it harder.
Of the reality of male and female. That is not the way that you promote human happiness. That is the way that you promote chaos. And once again, the left does not seem to care about the fact that male and female are pretty rigid categories biologically. And when I say pretty, I mean innately rigid categories. And that human activities within those categories tend to fall along somewhat stereotypical lines. And
there's the reason why the world has continued on the way it has. And there has been several rulers and stuff that has been gay, lesbian, or trans, or bisexual, or poly. There's several rulers out there in history that could have changed how their country was ran, but they didn't change anything.
Somebody fills the gap, folks. When you blow up the institutions, something else fills the gap. Now it's compulsory government gender theory.
This might seem like a silly piece of typical California politics, but the truth is that big box toy stores across the country have been moving in this direction. Both Walmart and Target have done away with gendered toy sections.
If they already done away with it, then why do you need to make it a law? They just did it themselves.
And experts say that's good because gendered toys shape how children see themselves and each other.
There are experts who don't care about the majority of children flourishing because it turns out that kids like gender roles.
People in general want to feel that they are part of a group. I think that's why he's saying he'd rather have the girl group and the guy group. It kind of adds to the confusion.
Female primates will try to comfort, they'll turn random objects into dolls and they'll try to comfort them, and male primates will turn everything into a weapon.
When you have a hammer, everything's a nail.
The experts say that the institutions are bad. Why are they bad? I have a question. Why are they bad? Were there really a huge number of kids so deeply disaffected by societal institutions around gender? Or was it that experts don't like the institutions because all institutions are militating factors in favor of civilizational things that are good and positive, and they don't like the civilization itself? And they want to remold the civilization itself.
So they don't like the civilization, so they're remolding it through the children. Is that what he's saying?
These experts. Why are they experts on kids? What makes them an expert? Truly. What even makes them an expert on human happiness? In order to direct policy, you have to...
I would call that person a god if they actually knew. Nobody knows.
Determine what is the good you are seeking with the policy. For whom are you seeking this good? Pretty obvious here. The good that they are seeking for society is tearing down roles, because roles are inherently bad because we are all malleable widgets, and if you get rid of societal roles, you can remake humanity.
Societal rules and general behavior do make such a thing, and that's where culture starts coming in. Culture does shape people in a certain way for generation after generation after generation. And doesn't psychology have a thing like what is it called, family culture or something, where my father did this way, therefore you're going to do it this way, and therefore your kid is going to do it this way. So many kids, it turns into an actual big giant culture of what we think as culture. And then you break that down, and then now this person is moldable.
That is a utopian, nonsensical dream that always ends in tyranny. Always. Utopianism ends in tyranny.
Why that's a law? I still don't get why that's the law. I'm still at a loss for my question here. Why? Why gender neutral toy section? I am still at a loss for why. The entire video of his was just why. Why do you do this? And then his response, this is a method of tearing down society, is just one step to it. Actually a waste of time and effort on the lawmakers' part. Normally business studies, they do marketing and stuff like that. They have research about who their customer are. Like, what do they believe and stuff like that. I'm doing that too, so I try something new. Depending on the feedback, like you guys, whether or not you like this video and subscribe, whether or not those stores that people actually continue buying the product or buy more or buy less, the business will slowly change to what the viewer or customer wants. So it's just useless to make a law about it. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends. If you want me to do some other topics or something, just write it in the comments. Alright, laters. Bye-bye.
The same reason you do. You made a law, guys.
You like jazz?